Good afternoon, Foundation staff. Welcome to another anomalous broadcast from Site 42. This time, a hybrid coffee break / office hours, because this is coming in right about 2-ish hours today for stream. So we got a decent medium-sized stream today. So Silent Follower, good to see you in the chat, as well as you, Noel. Thank you for being members. And Scissors and Sentient Worm on a String, good to see you guys in the chat. Not for being members, just for no good reason. How was Fortnite? I saw you play when I opened Discord. Unfortunately, I was not playing the Fortnite that you saw on Discord. What you saw was Steve using my work computer. So unfortunately, that was not me enjoying a riveting game of shoot 'em up. All right, let me set the slow mode so we don't go crazy. There we go. Bonjour, Ansan. Good to see you, and thanks for being a member. Dr. Sherman, what does an anomaly have to do to be a worker at the Foundation and not in a box? So, first and foremost, the anomaly must be sapient and able to reason properly, because if we can't communicate with it, it just goes in a box. Then, it needs to essentially prove its loyalty to the Foundation, because any anomalous entity could be trying to cozy up to staff as a way to plan their escape. And as a hyper-paranoid organization that hides magic and monsters from the public, we can't let that happen. Therefore, we have to be very careful about those anomalies that we give privileges to be on staff. I'm certain that in certain sites you'll even find that while there are anomalous staff, they are still kept under a secure system that is not the same as a regular staff member. Sort of a tiered system, if that doesn't sound historically awful to anyone. What are you drinking? Well, this is a coffee break, and this is my coffee. Today, JoJo Jargon, we are having an espresso lemonade. That is a glass of lemonade with 2 shots of espresso dumped in it. A delightful sour and bitter beverage with just that kick of sweet. Doctor, Sector C is in total chaos due to the lockdown. Well, they need to finish what they're doing and clean things up before we let them out. Come on now. Junior researcher Alex, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being the first donation of everybody, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a taco on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, sorry I'm late to stream. Well, you are only 3 to 4 minutes late, so that is not punishable by death. You will find some punishment to come, but it will not be that serious. 4 minutes late, no big deal. Silent Follower, is that your favorite drink? You've been drinking those a lot, I've noticed. It is my favorite way to drink coffee. So the espresso lemonade, I just discovered that there is a place nearby my stakeout location that I can get a decent espresso lemonade. And so I'm very happy for that, because if I'm gonna sit here all day, at least I might as well have a tasty beverage. I already apologized for causing the Sector C thing. What else must we do? The Forest Eyes, you must clean it up. You must go clean it up. That is the problem. We can't lift the lockdown until the situation is scrubbed. So get on it. I might try that lemon coffee drink despite seeming disgusting. Convoy, you are not the first person to go, ooh, no, at the sight of an espresso lemonade. But if you are brave enough to give it a try, you just might like it. People are always surprised when they try it out. Junior Researcher Sally, hello to you. Good to see you, and thanks for being a member. Nico Jupiter, Dr. Sherman, what the fuck is that clicking outside my house? Sound like this? Because it might just be me making sure that you're not messing things up. Amber, did the restaurant know how to make a lemonade espresso before? No, they had never done it, and they gave me the same strange look I get at many places that I order it. But once I told them what to do, they made it competently, and it works. Dr. Sherman, I've realized how you rank stuff to say. Donos, basically always other than Bruno. Members, 70%, especially if it's a question. Questions, 45%. Talks, 25%. I do not know how accurate your math is, but I will be impressed. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Frappuccino on your way past the commissary. Finally, that damn hypercube has moved out of the way of my 729-G. Why are you even studying that thing? What paperwork could you possibly have to do about that thing? I thought we've studied everything there is to know about that thing. I want to get to my task related to that piece of shit done ASAP. I can't believe they still have us testing that monstrosity. Ugh. Oh, Raymond, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cappuccino on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, collating all notes on SCP-294. Have you done any personal experiments you need me to add? Results, thank you for your dedication. Oh, for 294, the coffee machine? Okay, let me go back to my logs. For 294. All right, so in my list of personal tests with SCP-294, I have listed for liquids of things you could get realistically. I got a cup of liquid sulfur, and it's because, you know, sulfur smells like farts. And so I wanted to prank Steve. And so I got that cup of liquid sulfur, and I just lined the baseboards of his cubicle with liquid sulfur. So that was pretty funny for me. Not so much for Steve. Pretty funny for me, though. On top of which, I see here that I tried to get a cup of liquid stardust. And what I got was an out of range signal. Now, I know we've been able to get star stuff in the past, so I'm wondering why it was specific to me that I could not get a cup of liquid stardust. And so it makes me think that there might be some sort of personal bias involved, I'm not sure. And third, I asked for a cup of liquid. Okay. A cup of liquid SCP-729-G. I asked for a cup of liquid that thing because I wanted it to feel pain. And unfortunately, the thingy, the display, did not read out of range. It just showed an emoticon of a middle finger 5 times. So, I at least agree with the coffee machine in that situation. It's just, would have been nice to harm that thing. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. And the hypercube is back. Not even the hypercube wants me to study that thing. I'll let the overseers know. You know, maybe with this hypercube is onto something. Canine Cat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as grabbing yourself a plate of chicken wings on your way past the commissary. Question, if SCP-096 looked at a mirror, would it, not he, it. Remember, anomalies are not people. They're not he, they're not she, they're not any neo-pronouns. They are objects, therefore they are it. Do not humanize the anomalies. 096 is an it, not a he. And no, it would not kill itself because it knows what its face looks like. Therefore, it's only mad when people know what its face looks like. It already knows. That's why it's so upset all the time. So no, it would not off itself. Robin, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a bacon cheeseburger on your way past the commissary. I'm waiting on my noise-canceling over-the-ears headphones. Ever heard of Sabaton's Father Song? I have not heard of that. Also, try pumping amnestics into the tree for it to scream. Well, amnestics would just make it forget whatever we did, so I don't see how that would make it scream. Having a O with an accent QDB beer and a nice day, Dr. Sherman. Ah, I will have that after shift. Yes, indeed. Thank you kindly. I will try that. Are all plushies based on rabbit-shaped marshmallows anomalous, or just the one? It's just the one. It's just the one instance. That's the only one. Feels. Also, thank you for being a member. You got flipped off by a machine. Lol. I mean, it's not the first time. You deal with enough anomalies from Prometheus Labs and Anderson Robotics, or the Church of the Broken God, and you get on the wrong side of a lot of robots. Kirby, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Is it a bad time to mention the Unusual Incidents Unit are trying to make their own speedster agents? Listen. The UI Useless does not have the budget to make a speedster. You saw how many times they failed at super soldiers. The United States government is crap at anomaly crafting. So no, I'm not worried about the UIU trying to make speedsters, as frustrating as speedsters are to contain. Does the old man like a hug? Well, Oceanic, the old man does in fact try to hug everyone it meets, except the hugs are covered in acid and the person that it hugs dies, which the old man very much enjoys. So, yes, it would like a hug and you would die from it. Can you read SCP-8106 if you haven't already? Well, off the top of my head, I don't remember that number, so I'll take a quick peek. I can't read a whole article out loud on stream. That would be a little dry for our typical conversations. Well, I'll at least look at it and see what I find. All right, so 8106, object class Keter, threat level red. 8106 is a humanoid entity resembling a middle-aged man with brown-gray skin, showing signs of severe necrosis. The entity has a haggard, emaciated appearance with little to no muscle mass. 8106 displays the anomalous ability to pass through solid matter such as walls and floors, leaving behind structural damage to the surface, though this is hampered somewhat by the containment cell's composition and structure. The entity will often lie in wait for periods ranging from 6 hours to 30 days, so this is just 106 from the start of it. expresses total contempt for human life, responsible for 47 incidents. Oh, I do remember this. Interview log. Researcher Smith speaks first. SCP-8106, please state your name for the record. No. 8106 produces a knife and attempts to stab Researcher Smith. Notes, Researcher Smith was found to have no injuries from the attack, as SCP-8106 was wielding a butter knife. No further interviews are to be attempted with 8106. Shortly after the preceding interview log, 8106 breached containment and attacked numerous personnel. The following footage was picked up over security cameras. Dr. Wren is walking down a corridor in Containment Wing A when 8106 appears through the floor in front of him. Don't be alarmed, human. I'll make your death a painful one. Dr. Wren slowly backs away from 8106 and then pulls out a handheld transceiver. We've got a containment breach down in Containment Wing A. Please send security fast. Security is going to have to glue you back together when I'm done with you. Your screams will echo through these halls, striking terror into the hearts and minds of all my future victims. SCP-8106 produces a semi-automatic pistol. Dr. Wren appears panicked and backs up against the wall. Say your prayers, Doctor. Oh, fucking shit. SCP-8106 pulls the trigger. The weapon does not fire. What? Are you kidding me? Not again! 8106 looks down the barrel of the weapon as it adjusts the magazine, which had been inserted incorrectly. The entity then pulls the trigger, accidentally shooting itself in the face. Ow! Fuck! Curse you and your human trickery! 8106, now blind in one eye, rounds the corridor corner where Dr. Wren can be seen frantically running away. The entity gives chase. Think you can run, human? Soon the janitors will be scraping your innards off the linoleum floor. Dr. Wren does not respond and runs through the Site 40 canteen where the floor is being mopped. I've got you now! Whoop, 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 whoop! Slips on the wet floor, falling face first onto the ground. Dr. Wren escapes unharmed. Yeah, could we get the janitor down at the canteen? We got a little mess on the floor here. Ugh! Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it, god damn it, dag nabbit, damn it, gog nagget, dag it, nam. So it is SCP-106 with really bad luck, is what 8106 is. I did not read the article in full. There is still some more stuff to see. So if you liked what you saw there, then 8106 has more lore for you. That's pretty funny. And you'll notice something that SCP authors really like to do, which is they will use similar SCP numbers to provide a reference to a previous SCP. So 8106 is obviously essentially a cartoon parody of SCP-106, whereas, SCP-6820 is an expansion on the lore of SCP-682. So you get a lot of that. SCP authors love to use numbers to be very snooty and artistic and referential, which, I mean, I'm not saying is a bad thing. I love being snooty and artistic and referential. Okay, well, I was telling that funny story. There's a whole bunch of donations I missed, so let me catch up real quick. Judgment Bird, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a blueberry waffle on your way past the commissary. So if I, completely accidentally, take a picture of 096 to 173 and it was rampaging, again hypothetically, how would I survive? Ignore the klaxon. So this is not as difficult as people expect it to be. People are like, oh, put a picture of 096 on 173, it's gonna be a huge deal. Have you considered that the picture might just be like an 8x10 headshot, a piece of paper taped to its face? So don't look at its face. Just like dealing with 096, look at 173's feet. Problem solved. It's not that difficult. Use your heads, people. What do you go through academy training for anyways? Bacon head eating for fun. Gifting 10 Site 42 gift memberships. Hot damn. Good on you. Grab yourself some bacon head for eating at the commissary. And if you got a membership from Baconhead Eating for Fun, make sure to say thank you to Baconhead Eating for Fun. I see a bunch of people getting these random memberships. Congratulations to all of you for the generosity of Baconhead. Remicus Prime, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself holy shit, where'd your donation go? Well, I know you donated. Get yourself a chicken tender and fries combo at the commissary while I try and find your donation, because the YouTube chat is eating it. What in tarnation? I seem to be having some technical issues. I apologize for this issue. In fact, okay, at least the chat is still moving. For a moment, I thought I had gone offline or something. Let me try something. Maybe I can go through a back channel. No, I'm having an issue where it's not showing all the supers anymore. Give me a minute to futz with this problem, because I don't want to miss out on what's going on. Y'all might love eating people's donations. Don't do that. You're making life very difficult. I'm keeping the chat running on regular for a minute so I can see you guys while I am, try to see you guys while that's happening. Where did you get your pens? Ganzier needs new ones. I am not telling anyone at the GOC where to get pens, especially pens like mine, which are exactly as non-anomalous as anyone has ever been. You can get your own pens, GOC. All right, I found a cheat code to go back and find the missing super chats. So let me get those real quick. Let's see, the last one I can see, I answered, oh, by the time I do all that work, they come back. How humorous. Great. By the way, I'm looking at the clock. We're about 2 hours from the end of stream. 2 hours from the end of stream. So Remicus, enjoy your chicken tenders, and now I can see your donation again. Was driving around in my vehicle mode and found a Chaos Insurgency base. They tried to capture me and make me go offline. I was successful in freeing myself and destroying the base. Yes! Screw those CI bastards. Excellent work. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. If SCP-729- Why is this the focus of your day? Why are you doing so much of this? If it's visible from the sun, will that trigger daybreak by pissing off the sun? Oh no. Oh, I hate that. Oh God, put it back in its box and leave it there. Oh no. Oh no. If that's it, put that thing away. Yeesh. Robin, thank you for donating again. Also, Dr. Sherman, OQDB beer from the Quai des Brasseurs Brewery. My day job is a dishwasher in their Grand Mare restaurant. How nice to be an undercover in Shawnigan and be an ISR MTF agent. Well, hope it is tasty. I like craft beers, so I would like to try some of that someday. Judgment Bird, thank you for donating again. Opinion on lobotomy core, i.e. anomaly exploitation. Well, they seem very irresponsible with their anomalies, so I would worry about that. But otherwise, I appreciate any group that is trying to keep anomalies hidden from the general public. So I wish they do a better job, but hey, what can you do? Scapegoat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of Cajun fries on your way past the commissary. If we make a mask that can stay on Shy Guy's head, could we maybe work on integration into the Foundation as an intern? Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Oath96 is basically not sapient. All it does is eat hot chip and cry. So I don't think that 096 is going to be of any use as an intern. Beowulf, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a horn of mead on your way past the commissary. Would 096 be upset if an artificial intelligence construct sees its face? Its face, not his face. Use the proper pronouns. We don't want to humanize deadly anomalous entities. So make sure that you are saying it's, not he. It depends on how advanced the artificial intelligence is. If the artificial intelligence is sapient, I assume it would go after the mainframe that it's stored on. It would be really annoying. Baconhead Eating for Fun, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a cheese fries on your way past the commissary. Where's your tech guy? Unfortunately, out in the field, I don't bring IT with me. So on this stakeout, I am all on my own, unfortunately. Nix, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your service as well as your membership. Jay Roman, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Pop-Tart on your way past the commissary. Have you ever played SCP Secret Lab, the game? I have played it one time on stream with the Secret Lab team for a community event. You can find that on the playlist in this channel called Dr. Sherman Gaming Streams. It is wild. There's a lot going on in that game. I was dazed and confused. Remicus Prime, thank you for donating again. I think I just became friends with 343. Yeah, everyone likes that jerk. I don't know what to say. 343 gives me spooky vibes. Holy hell, Fox Packs. Thank you for a very generous donation to today's stream. Hot damn. Make sure that when you go to the commissary, you go up to the counter, knock under the table, and no one is going to be there, but you will hear and when you hear the 2 bits, a platform is going to open up underneath the table, and you are going to go under that table to the Site 42 speakeasy. And there, you're going to get yourself a fine cocktail made specifically for you based on your tastes. So enjoy yourself, and thank you again. Update on the situation. My stepsister's grandfather, who's the leader of the area's chapter of the Players' Council leader, and a half-decent person, he's trying to separate his chapter from the wider org. And he said that the guy was a rogue actor. I don't know much about this, the Players' Council leader, the chapter of the Players. I would be worried about any group of interest that's having violent altercations out in the open. So give me more dossier on this group and what they're up to and what kind of anomalies they may or may not be messing with, because we got to be careful with that. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a snow cone on your way past the commissary. And thank you for the cute corgi. Bacon Head Eating for Fun, thank you for donating again. What if the Shy Guy looks in a mirror? Nothing happens. It already knows what it looks like. It's not going to know what it looks like more. It only gets mad when other people find out what it looks like. How is SCP-999 right now? Well, Isla, SCP-999 is doing just fine. It's hanging out in its cell. I think pretty soon someone's gonna have to go feed it. And so when that happens, they will go feed it. Boom, let me get back to the database now that I no longer need this cheat sheet. What's so bad about... I know you're redacting it, and I appreciate you trying to temper my physical reaction to that thing. But all you need to do is read the SCP-729-J article to see exactly why everyone involved hates that thing. Anomaly number 3994-2, codenamed Doppelganger. I appreciate you trying to answer Baconhead eating for fun. It's a common question in my stead. Good work paying attention to our researching. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what was the last SCP you tested, and how is Dr. Ham doing? Listen, if you know about Dr. Ham, you know exactly what happened to Dr. Ham. I'm sure he's doing just fine in his box underground. So, thank you for bringing up that harsh memory. Meanwhile, the last SCP I tested, I was working with... I was arranging SCP-173's cleanup roster for the day. And so technically that counts as the anomaly I last worked with. Slord, what is your least favorite SCP and why? Well, as a writer and an artist, I don't like to have a least favorite SCP. I always try to find the good in any art that I'm looking at, any story that I'm looking at. And so when I look at the SCP Wiki, especially because it has such quality controls, most articles there, even if they're not my cup of tea, even if I don't like them based on the subject matter or something, I can at least tell that they're competently written and that they deserve to be on the site. But we all know SCP-729-J is the absolute worst, as well as anybody infected with SCP-022-J. They deserve a titanium piano dropped on their heads. J. Roman, thank you for donating again. What do you know about Class D9341? Ah, yes, the D class who is the subject of the game SCP Containment Breach. I think that it is an excellent training simulator for young agents to learn the ins and outs of the Foundation and its earliest and more iconic SCP anomalies. So, it's a good impersonal avatar to play as throughout the scenario. Edward, good to see you in the chat and thank you for being a member. I volunteer for 999 feeding duty. Oh, well, okay, that solves that then. Go grab its snacks and you can head over whenever you're ready. Hey, what are your opinions about SCP-8980? Bidoof, it is a heart-wrenching, hard-to-read article. It's also one of my favorites. Sometimes you love a horror story and the horror in that, I swear to you, I was reading it here at my stakeout location, and the stakeout ended at 9 p.m. and earlier in the day I had a dinner break, so I had a 30-minute break to eat, and I started reading the article, and it took up my whole dinner break. Then, when I got back to the stakeout, I finished my shift, and then I was supposed to leave and head back to the site at 9 o'clock. I ended up staying here until 9:45, reading that article through. The whole time, anxiety and terror gripping my chest, and I'm like, oh my God, oh! And then, yeah, it's hideous, but it's that good. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. I terminated the guy that wanted to put that thing in sunlight. Good work. The sun went a little red at just a consideration. No daybreak, though, thankfully. Well, hypothesis tested and proven. Let's double the locks on that thing sell. Fox Packs, thank you for donating again. They're not much different from us in the dark Ouroboros, in the sense that they are a subspecies of humans known as wizards. Oh, damn it. More wizards? We don't need more. Do you remember when the world was affected by 700 wizards? SCP-8320? Sorry, not 700 wizards. 700 million wizards. 700 million wizards we had to clean up for SCP-8230. 8320. I'm going to get the number right eventually. 8320. Otherwise known as 700 million wizards. And I'm not kidding. It is literally a honking wizard. If you're not familiar with this anomaly, SCP-8320 happened when every cat, every feline on Earth turned into a human wizard and started running around doing wizard things. The only way we can fix the problem is by shooting the wizards in the head. Because when you shot them in the head, they turn back into cats. And so we had to go wizard hunting for months. It was ridiculous. 700 million wizards. Can you believe it? Ay caramba. Oh, Desk, good to see you in the chat. Aoki the Demon, that many wizards? Yes, that many wizards. I mean, I'm not wrong, right? It is 700 million. Database check, database check. 700 million wizards. I was not wrong. Escape Goat, thank you for donating again. The month is almost over. Does the Foundation have any Pride Month events coming up? Also, what does 999 taste like? Peanut butter or something else? So 999 smells like whatever your favorite smell is. And so the assumption is that if it's because your smell receptors are so linked to taste, also 999 tastes like whatever your favorite thing is. And so I assume it's the same. I'm not saying this from knowledge of having tasted 999 at all in a smoothie. That is not something I have done. You don't have to worry about that. Meanwhile, yes, the SCP Foundation and its wiki are very pro-LGBTQ. We're a bunch of artists, so of course we're woke. And so, while usually there is some sort of Pride Month event or highlighting of queer stories during the month of Pride. And so we will probably see something. I am not privy to what they're working on right now. I could go ask, but I don't know the answer. But I know there will probably be something. Jedi Knight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a blue milk on your way past the commissary. Had my below knee amputation 2 weeks ago. Does that end my security and containment team career? Obviously not. We have some of the best prosthetics in the business. So obviously we can get you ship-shape back in the field ASAP. How is the SCP Flying Hand Spider? Is he eating rocks? Anomalies are its, not he's. Remember, they are objects, not people. Is it eating rocks or eating jelly beans? By the way, does SCP-999 like jelly beans? The Flying Hand Spider only eats rocks, and it prefers shiny ones. That being said, 999 does in fact like jelly beans or any other sugared food, so that's easy. 1 billion lions or one of every Series 1 SCP? A billion is a lot, but the SCPs would easily win. The SCPs would easily win because of one single anomaly. And that anomaly is, where are you? Find in page. SCP-409, the Contagious Crystal. The Contagious Crystal literally, by touch, turns the entity painfully into more of itself. And so you toss that Contagious Crystal into the 1 billion strong pride of lions, and you're gonna have a bunch of statues in no time. So at the end of the day, the lions don't have a chance. Freeze-dried Skittles are weird. Hate the texture. I just had those for the first time a week ago, Silent Follower, and you're right, the texture is very strange. Kind of chalky at the end of the day. Is that the red ice? No. The Contagious Crystal is SCP-409. It is a quartz crystal. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I was wondering when the last time you worked with Fox Mulder and Dana Scully was. Woo! I haven't seen them in ages. I can't even remember the last time we teamed up. That Mulder guy, very entertaining, off the wall. I prefer Scully, though, a little more level-headed. Fox Packs & Co., thank you for donating again. Not those types of wizards, Dr. Sherman. I don't think our members have ever broken 1.5 mil. But you have 1.5 million wizards? It's a lot of honkin' wizards. I don't know of a lot of groups of interest that are that big. Oh boy. I really need to do some more research into this then. Okay, did I miss anything, especially with the glitchiness of the stream? Looks like I am caught up well. Good. 10 Tails, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself an Americano on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Chairman, is there any SCP that is so paranoid of their surrounding that it becomes reality? Like if they think a lion is there, then a lion would magically spawn there, ready to fight anyone near it. Thank you for capitalizing it, so that I know you're working on your pronoun use. Good. And the answer is, so what you're talking about is a kind of reality bender, but who only bends the worst case scenario around them. And I don't think we have that kind of anomaly, but we do have Dr. William Weddle, SCP-7000, who is an SCP researcher with literally the worst luck. And so bad things materialize around him all the time. And you notice I said him because Dr. William Weddle is staff. Therefore, we give Weddle some human dignity despite being an anomaly. Plus, I think there's a tale where we made Dr. Weddle that way, but we have to pretend that we don't know about it, otherwise it would transfer to someone else. SCP-7000, whatever that tale was, it was pretty interesting. Scapegoat, thank you for donating again. What is the most non-anomalous seeming SCP? Like, just over the line of what is and what is not anomalous. Honestly, SCP-5094, Miss J, is pretty non-anomalous seeming, because you could, if you're not paying attention, just think that it is a very high-tech artificial intelligence and teaching game. It doesn't necessarily stand out unless you're really paying attention to how well it speaks to you to tell that it's sapient. Is there an SCP that can turn anyone gay? I do not think we have a pink kryptonite SCP. As crazy as that is, considering DC has that, no, I do not believe we have an anomaly like that. We do have a Series 1 SCP that Conflarnet, let me make sure I'm getting this right, that it still exists. SCP-230's title is The Gayest Man Alive. SCP-230 is literally titled The Gayest Man Alive. And so, description, a male Caucasian with a lean build and gaunt appearance, 6'1", 150 pounds, appears to be in early 30s, wears bright clothing and prefers the colors pink and yellow. 230 is a very cheerful individual who appears to be incapable of negative emotions. SCP-230 secretes a chemical in composition to heroin from his pores. Using the wrong pronouns, even back in the old days. Once secreted from its pores, it evaporates immediately and contaminates the air around 230. Compound redacted seems to be effective in as little as 30 parts per million in gaseous form. When inhaled, it causes extreme euphoria in subjects. So literally, it is incapable of negative emotions, and it makes everyone around it high and happy. So it's using the word gay in the term of good, not in the term of homosexual. Note by Dr. Redacted. SCP-230's preoccupation with the word gay has nothing to do with sexual orientation. 230 doesn't appear to have a sexual orientation due to a lack of interest in sex entirely. So that makes the gayest man alive asexual. Interesting. This makes sense, seeing as SCP-230 experiences the same amount of pleasure doing any given activity, making sex unnecessary. So yeah, that's a nice little funny side tangent. Is there an SCP that eats amethyst? Well, the Last of Us clicker, I don't know if anything like that is in the database. I know that the floating hand spider, which is not an official SCP document, it's something that I reacted to on a video, does eat amethyst, so there is that. And you know, there is no cannon, so if you want to hand cannon. If you want to make an alto clef and do a hand cannon, no. If you want to head cannon the floating head spider into the SCP verse, I can't stop you. Your brain does what your brain does. Follow up to yesterday. Turns out she actually works in medical here on site, but because I can regenerate, I never have to go. That's why I didn't know she was affiliated. Oh, well, if she's Foundation staff, then you're good to go. Just make sure you put your intent to engage with a relationship form in with HR. We don't want any mix-ups down the line. Time Sidon Days Brug. Our Time Sidon Day Brug. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'm a living puppet, but you will never catch me. Robot Puppet. What makes you think we can't catch you? You're just a little guy. Very easily contained. Throw in box. Lock case. Contained. I'm not fretting or sweating this. Rock sauce. There's relationship forms? Well, obviously, we have to keep track of who's dating who and try to avert any drama. We're a secret organization. We have to have very strict discipline. So yes, if researchers start dating, they need to fill out the proper forms with the administration. That way, we don't have any surprises. Tarnation? Hey, so SCP-279 is stuffing bees down my throat. Researcher Martin, what the hell are you talking about? SCP-279, the meandering man, just walks around this city doing nothing until it disappears. And if you touch it, then you'll disappear with it. I have no idea why this person who doesn't interact with anyone, just wanders around town, would single you out and then do the very specific task of shoving bees down your throat. You must be mistaken. Robot Puppet, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. I guess welcome to staff. I guess we don't need to contain you then. Why is everyone so obsessed with bees? Aoki the Demon, bees is the name of a very popular SCP tale. And in the SCP tale Bees, it's the journal of a person who becomes very obsessed with bees, and their journal is very funny to read. I will now read to you an excerpt of the Journal of Bees. So let's go to here. What if someone wrote a book about bees? What if bees were computer illiterate? What if I'm bees? What if bees misread directions and killed a lemon tree? What if bees were an accurate description of the concept of the assembly line? What if Willy Wonka was prepared for bees? What if bees had fetishes? What if bees could vibrate through walls and discern motives? What if bees were put on the no-fly list? What if bees were mistaken for a Russian psyop? What if bees overran a mental institution? What if bees had daydreams about becoming lemurs? What if there was a wiki about bees? What if Wikipedia was bees? What if bees killed me mid-sen? Uh-oh, I guess they didn't make it. Parascopical. What happens if an intersex person touches SCP-113? Well, it tends to be a little unpredictable. It is known that SCP-113 somehow interacts with your internal thoughts about your gender expression. Therefore, we had one non-binary person use SCP-113, and they ended up with, I think it was cat ears. So sometimes the gender switching stone can be a little unpredictable. Dr. Pepper Dragon, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Fryrobmon. Dr. Sherman, question. What would you do if you were an SCP? State your powers, class, and what you would look like. Well, that's just such an inconceivable idea, I can't even think about it. There's no way I would ever be anomalous in any way whatsoever, nor would my pens be anomalous in any way whatsoever. So I can't even cognitively think and imagine such a concept. It's just crazy talk. I can't go down such a path of insane hypotheticals. Escapegoat, thank you for donating again. Is there an SCP that makes fables real? Is there an SCP that makes fables real? I'm trying to think in the wiki. We do have a book that you can go inside, but I don't think we have a book that comes out. We can Jumanji you into a story, but I don't believe that there's a story where the Jumanji comes out. Mitch DeKitt, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a box of Pocky on your way past the commissary. Hey doc, just had a 24-hour stomach bug. All better now. Oof, I don't like that for you. I'm glad you've recovered though. Take care of yourself. Take it easy today. Speed up, ramp up back to normal work slowly. Fox Pax, thank you for donating again. Anyway, the main deities they worship are Anima Determinationis, Anima Virtutis, Anima Iustitiae, Anima Misericordiae, Anima Patientitae, Anima Integritatis, Anima Perseverantiae, Anima Timoris, Anima Spei. That's quite the pantheon of deities. More research needed. Got to figure out what they're trying to do by worshiping such strange deities. Why won't the Jumanji come out? This is a creative writing community. Most of us are gay. Junior researcher HLG, that's pretty funny. I mean, there must be an SCP where the story comes out of the book. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Are cats an SCP? Not as a whole, but there are several anomalous cats, let alone Josie the half-cat, who everyone knows. There is also an SCP cat that keeps jumping into a well and dying, and then it respawns somewhere on the planet and makes its way back to the well to jump in and die again. We're not sure why that one's doing that. There's also an SCP cat that is the absolute center of the world, in that the cat doesn't move. When it walks, the world moves around it. That one's pretty weird. Top Hat Man, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to chat. The well cat that keeps dying is a millennial. That's why it keeps jumping in the well. Desk. Okay. That's your angle. Mud Pie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a granola on your way past the commissary. If you ordered a cup of the SCP Cup of Joe, would it cannibalize itself? If you ordered a cup of the SCP Cup of Joe, would it cannibalize itself? So here's the thing. Your question conflated two things. There is an SCP that is called a Cup of Joe. And that one is a cup that if you pick it up, it glues to your hand, fills with gross bodily fluids, and you lose the ability to eat or drink anything except what's in that cup. And so it constantly refills and makes you drink gross things, and you die eventually because you can't keep it up. So that's the Cup of Joe. SCP-294, the coffee machine that spawns anything, is not called Cup of Joe. But it did have a Cup of Joe ordered, which took a part of a researcher named Joseph. So, two very prominent Cup of Joe anomalies. Long story short, I also know that if you meant the coffee machine, it would not spawn a cup of itself because it has self-preservation instincts. So it would not willingly harm itself. Asta Nordaughter, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cherry Coke on your way past the commissary. You're cute. Do you have a date? Well, I am flattered by your interest, but I am both not interested and married to my work. As a Foundation researcher who is also asexual, this is not the tree you want to be barking up. Mimlord 2000, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Escapegoat, thank you for donating again. If you can make fables real, I would like to test a gingerbread man on Shy Guy. So if you can run as fast as you can to capture a gingerbread man. Don't we have an SCP gingerbread man? Come on. Boom. So we have SCP-2110, the Gingerbread Cottage, as Desk has told me. I'm not seeing anything else specifically about gingerbread men. Uh, 7632 is another gingerbread house. SCP-366-DE is an anomalous gingerbread man. Maybe. No, it's not. Well, rats. We don't have a lot of that, but based on the story of the gingerbread man, did the gingerbread man ever get caught? Is a gingerbread man just a unstoppable force, essentially? I have not heard that old fable in a long, long time. Does the gingerbread man eventually get caught? Well, I mean, in Shrek it did, so there's that. Anywho. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait on the hypothetical matchup between 096 and a gingerbread man. Fox Packs & Co., thank you for donating again. Yeah, those 9 are responsible for what powers we as a race have. While it isn't unheard of for someone to have 3 or 4 traits given to them, 1 and 2 are the most common. Oh. Deities actively granting gifts is rare. Usually they just sit up there being dicks. Jacob, thank you for donating again. Or no, thank you for your first donation of the day. Grab yourself a crepe on your way past the commissary. I know who can touch the Foundation, the IRS. Only through our front companies. We do not pay taxes as an organization. We are privately funded. We are off the grid. It is only the front companies which pay taxes to stay incognito from the government. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Clear, caught up. Why, hello there, Zerdrin. Good to see you in the chat. We're going to need help down here. There's a guy with giant scissors and a weird-looking helmet who came through a portal shouting about a prophecy of the mage or something. I have no idea what you're talking about, but since it came through a portal, it is anomalous by proxy, and so contain it and we'll interview it later. Interview or interrogate, depending on how it asks. Oh, Site42 chat, I just want you to know, we're at 171 likes and 186 viewers. Hit that like button. Let's take that like count over the top. Are you the SCP helper? Well, I am the site director of Site42, and I do educate about the SCP Foundation to staff, so I guess yes, question mark? What would happen if you paired up SCP-529, which is Josie the Half-Cat, and SCP-458, which is the Infinite Pizza Box? And the answer would be you would make Josie sick because we're not supposed to give Josie cheese. Come on now, think. You make the front company sound like mafias. Also, Sama says hi. Oh, tell Sama I said hi back. Holy hell. Thank you, Lieutenant. And yes, obviously the front companies are the fingers of the mafioso cake that is the Foundation. That is obviously how it has to be. When will the tree scream? Soon, Mori Holy Masquerade, soon. I know it, I just got a feeling. I have a feeling that tree is gonna scream. Oh, I can just taste it. I can taste that scream. Are we allowed to play D&D with each other? Well, yes, Researcher Stevens. Researcher Stevens, sorry, not multiple Stevens. Yes, there are multiple D&D games hosted on site on different evenings, so just join the team you have that fits your schedule. Krieg, number 7358, codename Riker. Welcome to Mobile Task Force Captainship here at Site42. We appreciate your service and your membership. And remember, now that you're a Mobile Task Force Captain, you get early access to the videos we post. We have 2 SCP readings in the tank right now for early release, so you can go check those out immediately. So thank you very much. Dr. Sherman, what are your thoughts on SCP-2747? Interesting. Let me see what my thoughts are about this anomaly. I don't remember its name from the designation. 2747, you say? The cover of Radiohead's I.O., an instance of SCP-2747. SCP-2747 is a phenomenon appearing in print and online media whereby platforms dedicated to the discussion of works of fiction begin to mention a non-existent instance of fictional media. Despite said non-existence, articles, posts, and comments, and other related meta-content created with regard to the non-existent work of fiction will be found treating it as real. The non-existent work of fiction can be mentioned by various individuals in varying capacities, ranging from brief mentions in forum posts to being the subject of entire academic essays. So, yes. A fictional, a piece of fiction that does not exist, but everyone believes that it exists. It's pretty hard to deal with because there's so much of it. And they're all over the internet. I mean, you see No Sister of Mine, a video game that doesn't exist that everyone's talking about. You have the Scolopendra Wiki, which is a collaborative fiction website that everyone talks about like it's real, even though it isn't. You have the aforementioned Radiohead album that doesn't exist. And so, yeah, it's just difficult to deal with because you gotta constantly be on the lookout for things that you don't know exist, but are, that you don't know exist but do exist, versus you don't know exist because they don't exist. So it's pretty tricky to keep track of that. This has never happened before. I see a dono that was deleted by Desk, but it's not even showing me the name. Oh, and Desk is right here telling me what's up. So, what's up? Ah, Chris the Dire Wolf Boy. You watched the video about why we don't talk about Bruno. So I hope you understand now. Yeah, Desk, you could have let that one by. It was still pretty chill. But thank you for sending it to me so I could answer it. Also, Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, since that was your first donation of the day, grab yourself a cup of pudding on your way past the commissary. Not chocolate pudding, though. Eli, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a nice cool glass of melonade on your way past the commissary. Came into the office, found a stack of containment breach reports. All Euclid, but I can tell already it's going to be one of those days. Oh boy, I hope you guys over at that site are doing okay. At least, hopefully they're not going too crazy. Dr. Williams. Dr. Sherman! I don't know why you caps locked that. Who's your favorite SCP? Well, I always recite my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which for us right now is about an hour and 15 minutes. So, if you want to hang out for an hour and 15 minutes, you can hear my favorite SCPs. Or, if you want to cheat, you can go back to a previous stream because I always say my favorite SCPs at the end. Therefore, you can check that out there. Do we have any wizards in containment? Well, Robot Puppet, we have a lot of wizards in containment. Oh, wait. Before I do that, this is adorable. Someone made a Gingerbread Man SCP-173, which Desk brought to my attention. That's adorable. All right, so where was I? SCP Wizards in Containment. So, of course, we already talked about SCP-8320, which is the 700 million wizards that we had to contain. That was a wild one. We also have SCP-2686, codename the Moon Wizard. And that is a wizard who, like its name says, lives on the moon. Desk, witch child technically if they aren't being sexist. 053, or sorry, what is the witch child again? What number? Because 053 is the child we all want to murder. I don't remember the number of the witch child right now. But while you're looking into that, I will pull up SCP Wizard and see what we find. So 2686 is the Moon Wizard. 8320 is 700 million wizards. Desk tells me 239 is the witch child. So yes, if you consider the witch child to be a wizard, then 239 is a wizard. 6289 is, let me see. It says, the text displayed on the screen says the wizard. SCP-6289 is a file titled priest.exe, appearing as a 4.8 megabyte executable file. File's icon resembles a priest standing upon a pillar. The password prompt generated by 6289 is a black screen with a blinking cursor. The text "the wizard" is displayed at the top of the screen. Entered wizard command. All right, so this has some wizard stuff as an anomalous video game. 8012 is a sentient frog wearing a conical wizard hat. And it's also freaking adorable. Holy cow. Upon arrival, 8012 began repeatedly requesting the presence of the Chosen One, insisting that it wouldn't leave the kitchen until the Chosen One was found. Desk, 8012 is the Frog Wizard. Notably, 8012 has provided no elaboration on whom the chosen one is or what will occur when they are found. As such, the Foundation has opted against searching for the chosen one entirely. Oh my God. At some point, SCP-8012 takes over the document. This is the most freaking adorable thing I've ever seen. Featuring Wigglebert the Great. The wizard frog is named Wigglebert the Great. Oh my God. I have discovered the best thing that's ever happened. Look at Dr. Clement's desktop for Frog OS. And they fight dragons. This is ridiculous. Holy cow. This goes on for a while, and it looks like it's a great article by what I'm seeing. So I'm just going to share one more picture and then tell you to read 8012 and remind myself to read it, because holy cow. And you can even see Desk responding in real time. This may be the second best story on the wiki. I look forward to reading this in full, because holy cow, I am ready for the Frog Wizard. Lord Gouda, I have a quest pin. Well, I don't know what a quest pin is. Is a quest pin a pin you wear while you're on a quest? Are you on a quest? Holy cow, do we need to help you with a quest? Anonymous, hi, you are my favorite YouTuber, I love you. Oh, well, thank you very much. I am happy to provide a good, entertaining time for you all. Stophora, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Chicka Cherry Cola on your way past the commissary. Hi, Dr. Sherman. How would the Foundation contain the character Solaris from Sonic the Hedgehog? Well, I am minorly familiar with Sonic, but I do not know what Solaris is. So let me do a heckin' quick lookup. Solaris from Sonic, what are you? Solaris, the sun god of Soleanna, originally called the Flame of Hope, the Duke of Selena attempted to use it to control time via the Solaris project. However, an accident split Solaris into two entities. His raw power, Iblis, and his cunning intelligence, Mephiles. Both fragments were sealed away inside Princess Elise and the Scepter of Darkness, respectively. Well, that's what I would do to contain it. I would break it in two and lock it inside a princess. That seems pretty straightforward to me. I love when the anomaly tells me how to contain it. Hot diggity dang. Makes my job easy. Stupid old data pad, stupid lag. Do you think SCP-1471 is aware of its reputation on the internet? It's, not his, or hers, as far as I'm concerned. Mallow is an it. Get it right. So, the answer to your query is, I am certain that some Mallow is attached to a person who is on the internet and has found it. So I'm sure there's at least one Mallow that is appalled at how the internet is trying to fetishize it. Kind reminder that we have banned horses from Site 42. Do not bring your horse to work. Thank you, Synth. Hey, everybody, Synthetic Alien is in the chat. Why don't you say hi to Synth? That's our editor here at the channel. By the way, it's very late for me today. It's 4 near 5 in the morning. Dang. I don't even know how you are up at this time. We are streaming for 1 more hour, though, so don't feel like you have to stay the whole time, because we are ending in an hour. You do not want to knock yourself out. I'm thinking about changing my username and profile picture to something more SCP themed, but it doesn't fit with the content that I post on this channel and to expose my affiliation with the Foundation. Yeah, that is pretty tough. If you have you want to keep your branding in line, and so what I might suggest is create a throwaway second YouTube channel that you can change to when you want to do SCP related things. A channel you don't need to make content for, you can just use it for username purposes. Ten Tails, thank you for donating again. Dr. Chairman, at this point, are you just saying my name wrong for comedy purposes? Are you misspelling? Do you have an accent? I had a boss, my old boss from my first dance studio that I taught at was from Venezuela. Very cool dude. And he had been dancing longer than I was alive, so he was pretty awesome. But he had English as a second language, and he always had a bit of an accent where he pronounced his SHs as CHs. And so also as an actor, and the way my mind works, if I'm talking to someone, I will start naturally impersonating their accent, not as a conscious thing, and I'm definitely not making fun of them. It's just you're talking to somebody and you get in the vibe with them, and I start to sound like them a little bit. And so he would always talk about dancing, and in dance terminology, we have a term called shaping. And shaping is how you use your body to make room to move your partner where you want them to go. So if I shape this way, it causes one thing to happen. If I shape this way, it causes another. And he would always pronounce it shaping, shaping. And just because I learned for like 8 years from this instructor, even now, 10 years after I left Florida, I will still say, all right, guys, I need you to readdress your shaping. I need you to readdress your shaping. And certain phrases I use are still in his accent because I heard them so much. It's comical. So yes, are you mispronouncing my name because English is a second language? Is it Dr. Sherman instead of Dr. Sherman is what I'm getting at here. Quite a tangent there, me. I'm taking SCP-999 with me. I doubt it was you who gave it to me, but I will cherish this adorable little goober to the best of my ability. Not giving it back, fight me if you dare. I will crush you. I will throw the entire might of Site 42 security team up your asshole with a rubber hose to get 999 back. You will not escape this. We have a very particular set of skills. You should watch yourself if you even attempt such a thing. Cautious now. Cautious. Poke Grick, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Why is there a Venezuelan dance coach in Site 42? Free the man. Listen, you don't know about what he can do. So no, we're locking him up, he's staying. Plus, he's just a cool guy. Dream and Kira, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an apple on your way past the commissary. What's the SCP harder than contained from all you found? What's the SCP harder than contained from all you found? I'm assuming what you're asking is what is the hardest anomaly to contain? And that would usually be the Apollons, the world enders that ended the world because we couldn't stop them, like when day breaks, or 8654, acrophobia. There's a couple of those out there that are just, we can't contain them, so they're uncontained. But by the point we can't contain them, that is the impossible to contain. Also, anything that has the uncontained object class, that is probably pretty hard to contain if we haven't contained it. Archons and Ticonderogas, we can't even contain them, so those are impossible to contain. Or they might be possible, but we don't for reasons. So yeah, there's a lot of SCPs that are pretty tough to contain. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. Also, I'm not sure if you heard this or not, but the ethics committee just told me to release the kids to their parents, assuming they're not anomalous. Well, with proper use of amnestics, I don't see a problem with that. So, yeah, just make sure they don't know anything, amnesticize them, and I guess that's fine. Is Ash Ketchum an anomaly? Well, Chris the Direwolf Boy, thank you for donating again. And probably the sucker doesn't age, so I believe yes. Dr. Sherman, what is a Ticonderoga? Is it a fort like Fort Ticonderoga? Ticonderoga is another esoteric SCP object class. It is not commonly used, but it does exist for very specific anomalies. And when I pull up the database entry here, I will be able to tell you what it is exactly, because it's so rare, I don't remember off the top of my head. So the difference here is really going to be Archon versus Ticonderoga. So while that loads, pop over here real quick. Boom. Boom. Come on, load already. Finally. Okay, so secondary classes. Archon class SCPs are anomalies that could theoretically be contained, but are best left uncontained for some reason. Archon SCPs may be a part of consensus reality that is difficult to fully contain, or may have adverse effects if put into containment. These SCPs are not uncontainable. The defining feature of the class is that the Foundation chooses not to put the anomaly into containment. So that's Archon. Let's see what's next. Ticonderoga SCPs cannot be contained, but also do not need to be contained. While these anomalies are similar to Archon class in that their containment is unnecessary, Ticonderoga class SCPs are distinguished by also not being containable given the Foundation's current knowledge and resources. So they are basically the same thing with one little tweak. Archon is we could contain it, but it's a bad idea. Ticonderoga is we can't contain it, and also it's a bad idea. So in case those ever come up, you know. You are amazing and we love you always. Remember that, sir. Well, thank you so much again, Anonymous. You are very kind. Eli, thank you for donating again. Real quick, before I answer that, Desk. Ticonderoga is exactly as you spelled it, but replace the Y with an I. Oh, hey, Dr. Sherman. Got a couple Site 42 reports here for Foundation protocol violations. Nothing major. And I didn't see your name on any of them, but your site supervisor might call for a meeting. Well, you know, with a site as vast as ours and with as many people on hand, you got to expect some misbehavior from time to time. I do believe our disciplinary record is above average compared to other Foundation sites, but of course, I know there will be some reports. So yeah, when they get to my desk, I will take a look and see what we have to act on or not. Sweet Pea Ward and Psycho Wizard 99. Thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Also, oh boy, another wizard. How about that? Doo-doo, doo-doo. For the safe SCPs that can roam, do you talk to them? I mean, if they are capable of speech, of course. Hell, I hang out with Jeff, SCP-008-J, anytime he shows up at Site 42. So, yeah, if they chat, we chat. I have heard of Christian or religious SCPs, but is there an Islamic or Muslim SCP on the main SCP Foundation? Just a Gamer X, I am happy to report for you, based on your interest, that you would be very, very interested in a group of interest called Oriya. O-R-I-A. If you type it in, SCP space O-R-I-A. Oriya is the, wait for it, Organization for the Reclamation of Islamic Artifacts. It is a group of interest based in Iran. I always forget which syllable to emphasize there. Either way, they are the group of interest similar to the UIU for the United States or the GRU Division P for Russia. And on their group of interest hub for Oriya, you can see several anomalies that they contain, as well as SCPs where we've had to interact with them in one way or another. So they are there waiting for you. There's a whole bunch of them. How do you feel about SCPs like Dr. Weddle or 5091 or 105 that are also Foundation employees? Well, it's bound to happen that Foundation employees end up anomalous by accident or through design of some sort of experiment, or that we have an anomaly who proves their loyalty enough that we hire them. And so it's not shocking that we have anomalous staff. It's just something we have to be very careful of because, for instance, we can't let them out in the field. They might use their abilities and blow our cover. So we have to be careful with it is the only thing. What are the strongest SCPs? Well, DJ Jubileus, the strongest SCP by far is SCP-6101. When you read that document, the very first line of the description is SCP-6101 is the most powerful SCP. So, I mean, it's pretty hard to think about that. Thank you for talking for a while, Doctor. I have to go. See you later. Well, is it Mario or Marlo? That's Mario. Mario, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with us. Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, thank you for donating again. I'm reading the Bible with the teenage Gaia since the problematic part of the original post was removed. Yes, I'm very glad that SCP-166 was rewritten. That was such edgelord cringe in the past. Where can you find SCP-2517? I'm unfamiliar with that designation, so it's something that I will check on. SCP-2517. Anomalous species of psychedelic mushroom in the genus Psilocybe. in addition to psilocybin and psilocin, produced at slightly higher concentrations than related species, the fruiting bodies of SCP-2517 contain the psychedelic compounds 5-MeO-DMT-LSA and mescaline. As a result, the effects of 2517 are longer lasting and more intense than other psychedelic mushrooms. SCP-2517 fruiting bodies are typically 4 to 6 centimeters in height, with round caps between 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter. It can be distinguished from related species by the dark blue coloration of its cap and stem. Users of 2517 uniformly report visual hallucinations of geometric figures and patterns with five-fold rotational symmetry, particularly surrounding faces, heads, and written text. Other common effects include visual and tactile hallucinations of worms or maggots on floors and walls, doubling of facial features, especially ears and eyes, on others, and visual hallucinations of blue translucent trees. When taken habitually over at least 4 months, 2517's anomalous effects manifest. Users experience symptoms of hallucinogen persisting perception disorder, or HPPD. The geometric hallucinations continue after the other effects of 2517 have ceased. Okay, so you have that forever. You start to fabricate memories of non-existent people, usually friends, relatives, or colleagues. Users claim that these individuals existed at one point but were erased from reality by a malevolent force. Some claim this force wishes to erase them but is prevented from doing so by their continued use of 2517. Oh boy. People believe that use of 2517 was associated with the Hellenistic and Roman world with a religious sect known as the Mysteries of the Five-Named God, or the Cult of the Fifth Star. Okay, so this is some this BS is what we're saying. Yep, it is fifthist. Great. If I remember correctly, fifthism is essentially SCP Scientology. But I'm not deep into the fifthist lore, so okay, where was I? So the answer is I do not know where we are holding those mushrooms because the containment protocols do not tell me. I don't know where they grow or where to find them, and based on what they are, you shouldn't be looking for them. They seem to make you go crazy. Mario, thank you for your first donation as you leave today. Grab yourself a bratwurst on your way out. I didn't notice he was live. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Well, hello, Site 1. Welcome. Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, thank you for donating again. Have you heard of a false Hydra from the D&D fandom? I have not heard of a false Hydra before. That is a new term for me. What is a false Hydra as compared to a true Hydra? Interesting. Oh, no. It's not interesting at all. I just did something stupid. Popular homebrew monster for Dungeons & Dragons is known for its ability to make people forget it exists by singing. Oh, that's annoying. Anti-mimetic properties on a demon. Great. Jet, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Dr. Pepper on your way past the commissary. I made that decision for you, so you're welcome. What is the worst type of anomaly to contain? For example, speedster or reality benders. Speedsters, reality benders, and teleporters are the worst anomalies to contain because they can get out so easily in so many ways. They are very frustrating to contain. On the other hand, I mean, they're not as bad as actual Cthulhu's and world enders because not only can we not usually contain them, but then they end the world. So for specifically containment, reality benders, teleporters, and speedsters, but for just containment. Obviously, the end of the world is worse than that. Do you have a My Little Pony type SCP? I am almost fairly sure that there is a crossover tale between SCP and MLP. It was part of a crossover contest of some sort. But first I gotta find it. Oh, it looks like Desk has already found it. Okay, this is a tale called Pony Posting is Now Banned at Site 19. Director Light, classified documentation pertaining to several SCP objects have been circulated along the senior staff office of Site 19's East Wing. There appears to be a picture of a cartoon horse included in each of them. An example has been attached to correspondence. Although I suspect the culprit to be an uninspired prankster, I advise investigating the matter. So it is ponyifying different SCPs and staff members. So here's the SCP-173 pony. Here is the SCP-682 pony. Someone is turning all the SCPs into ponies, apparently. Also the staff members. I'm pretty sure that's not even the only one. I'm gonna try one more thing. What's the name of the Equestria is what it's called? $8,008, which is literally boob, oh god. Turn the next iteration into Fallout Equestria. This one has an adult content warning on it, guys. This is gonna get so messy. This is gonna be a frickin' problem. I am very afraid once this loads. Like I got the big adult content splash on SCP-808 or 8008. Mountain View, California? Holy hell, that's like 10 minutes down the road from me. What is this? No immediate changes of history were observed, however, even state-of-the-art Foundation reality monitoring apparatuses have known inadequacies. The purpose of the SCP-8008 investigation to determine how, if at all, history has changed. Yes, Jelly Briley, Mountain View, California. This is so long. Okay, I'm gonna need to look into this later. But I think that's enough searching for My Little Pony on the wiki. SCP-1471, Mallow. Thank you for becoming an Overseer level member here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Oh God, a Mallow is now an Overseer at Site 42. Oh dear Lord, what does this mean? Well, enjoy your early access to videos at least. Chris the Dire Wolfboy, thank you for donating again. It also makes everyone forget its victims. Oh, like SCP-3041, the red knife. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jet, thank you for donating again. Another opinion needed, Budweiser or coffee? It depends on your time zone. If it's after 5 o'clock and you're off shift, you can switch to Budweiser, or you can have coffee if it's before that. Hello, we have heard you have captured an entity called a mimic. We need clarification from you if this is true. Well, Redline Archive, I'm not sure if we have the mimic you are speaking of. There are still investigations running into a mimic robot slash animatronic related to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria brand. I'm not sure where we are investigating that right now. I'm also not sure if we have any specific mimic style entities in containment if you're speaking about shape-shifting entities that eat people, usually disguising as chests or things people want to open. So those are both anomalies I'm not sure we have in containment or not. Caffeine is what I need. Amen that. Although, oh God, I'm out. Darn. Doctor, two things. We need to restock 999's food supplies, and second, 999 isn't in its containment cell. Security has been notified. That's worrying. But if you alerted security, then we will check it out. Also, what do you mean we have to restock 999's food? I mean, I guess just go to the commissary and grab something in that case. Maybe the person who makes the transition from the commissary to 999's supply is out sick or something. Don't know if you saw this when I sent it earlier because I had to step away. Sama said to tell you that they are concocting plans for you after Gen Con with an evil smile. Oh dear God. That's frightening. That is frightening. I look forward to whatever that may or may not be, Caleb. Have you taken a look at Voices of the Void, or am I just that unlucky? Andrew, I apologize. I am not familiar with Voices of the Void. I feel like I've heard of it before once, but it's not something I've actually looked into. Yes, this is a survival game that I haven't played. So yes, I am very unfamiliar with that, in fact. I am Carr. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot dog on your way past the commissary. I'm having lunch with this tall, shy guy and a sentient phone app. They are very friendly fellows. Well, you know, being shy is a character flaw, but not a crippling one. And hey, tall is nice. Good luck. Meanwhile, sentient phone app, I guess if your phone is talking to you, it's a companion in one way or another. But yeah, I guess have a nice lunch and don't let that anomalous app leave the site. Dr. Connors scares me. The Crying Dead, Dr. Connors scares a lot of people. Leuna, thank you for being a member. I survived my first month as a researcher. You did it! Dr. Jaybird here, how's it going? 049 managed to pat my head and yet I'm still here. Do I need to undergo testing myself? Dr. Jaybird, did 049 happen to be wearing gloves At the time, come on, get serious. Obviously, some protocols have been made for safe interactions with certain anomalies, with death touch as an anomaly. Jax, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a boysenberry pie on your way past the commissary. Hello, what is your favorite SCP-173 redesign? I don't know that I have a favorite SCP-173 redesign. 173 Gallery. Because there's so many of them. You start looking at them and you get hit with a whole lot of different pictures, which are going to take forever to load as my app regos. Waiting for that to load forever because the pictures are taking forever. Leuna, thank you for your... Is this your first donation today or not? I'm not sure. It's been a long stream. Well, grab yourself a pixie stick at the commissary either way. I survived because I've been looking at cheese. You know, most of our anomalous cheeses aren't that dangerous, so that's a pretty good beat to be on. Oh, God. So I'm going to show you all something. So while I was loading the set of SCP-173 redesigns, Desk sent me his favorite. And Desk's favorite is this weeping angel looking son of a gun, which is admittedly pretty cool. Admittedly, that's a pretty cool design. But I did not realize that above that, Desk sent me this art that someone sent him of the desk of Alto Clef being My Little Pony. You're all sick in the head. All of you. Sick, sick, sick is what you are. Ridiculous, then. Ridiculous is the word I use. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again with a my little corgi guy. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. What happens if you throw SCP-729- You didn't mention that thing for an hour. Why did you bring it up again? Into a black hole? I don't know. The black hole would probably vomit and spit it back out. That's my hypothesis. Okay, so where was I with these 173 designs? So, it wasn't in the first page for my favorites. And I can't even go back to the previous page? This is unfair. Open the new, go back. Go back to the hub. Let me see more. How much time we got left? Junior Researcher Sally, we are looking at 30 minutes left in stream. 30 minutes left in stream. Atlas, Dr. Sherman, I have a bad feeling SCP-999 has become a speedster. No. SCP-999 gets overloaded on caffeine and sugar and will bounce off the walls, but it does not stay a speedster for long. A wildfire. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself some hickory smoked walnuts on your way past the commissary. Hey, so my buddy showed me this pixelated picture, and now there's a tall white guy outside. What should I do? Die quickly. That way we can go pick up 096 if it is in fact at your door. So just let it get you. At this point, you're already done. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Odd thought, have we tested air in the clockworks? Well, there's already air in the room when we transform things, so by proxy, yes, and it hasn't done anything. But it could be that if we put in a tank of compressed air, we might get a result. So that's interesting as a thought. Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, thank you for donating again. What about using real statues that are in the public domain? You mean as a 173? Well, that would certainly comically scare someone who showed up to that place and knew about it, so that would be funny. But more than likely, I mean, the point is it's got to be a little creepy, so it's probably not going to be something that's out in public unless that thing out in public is pretty creepy. All right, here's some more 173s. And by the way, you can look at the SCP-173 gallery on the wiki and choose your own favorite. I'm just looking at them here to try and pick a favorite from, I don't really have a favorite of them, so I think I'll just answer with that. That way this takes forever to load anyways. A wildfire, thank you for donating again. Update, I gave it some Pringles and we're chilling on my couch right now. Well, then what that means is that the tall white guy that you saw was not 096, it was just a dude. And so enjoy your time with that dude because 096 is coming unless the pixelated picture had nothing to do with anything. And then, I guess, why are you asking me about this non-important situation? Dr. Sherman, can I eat SCP-173? Even if you were capable of eating concrete and rebar along with that brownish red substance it secretes, A, why would you want to? And B, no, because I'm not going to let you destroy an anomaly because then we can't test it anymore. So stop it. Dr. Sherman, do you know why SCP-2747 is shown as a woman in Google search results? I have no idea what you are talking about, but I am curious enough to look. Images. SCP-2747 is an anti-narrative, a cluster of narrative elements that when included in a given story will eventually lead to mutual destruction. 2747 usually manifests as a sort of antagonistic figure in the stories it appears in, before eventually erasing all memories of it ever existing, but usually leaving unrelated material referencing it intact. While initially assumed by the SCP Foundation to be a phenomenon limited to fictional works from their perspective, observational procedure Lucid Chalice eventually revealed the possibility of 2747 manifesting in the real world, erasing their narrative entirely. It is implied this manifestation is the Scarlet King, and that the King gets created and used in many narratives to eventually destroy them when its seals are eventually released. Wow, I need to go into that article again. I've never found all of this extra stuff. Sometimes sometimes SCP writers hide their stories so well that you never find out what the hell's actually going on. So I have no idea why it's being portrayed as a woman. it is possibly a form it takes. Researcher Last, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a brownie on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman isn't using SkipNet. You are correct. I'm having to search off the database to see what that question was about. Is Smile Dog an SCP? The answer is no. Smile Dog is not an SCP. SCP-1471, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a new member. Make sure to grab yourself a yogurt on your way past the commissary. Hello, Doctor. Well, hello, Mal-O. What does SCIP stand for? SCIP is what we call SCPs when we don't want to use the whole 3-syllable SCP. We just call them skips. And so if you, hey, get that skip out of there. Hey, lock that skip up. Hey, the skip's eating that guy's face. It's just a quicker way to say SCP. We don't normally write skip because it's an extra letter, but we say skip out loud. And then sometimes if we're trying to be very thorough, we might write skip. Give me your SkipNet login. No, Dr. Pearson, why would I do that? I'm not giving you director privileges. Can I send a drone into SCP-610 just to see what's going on in there? No, we already know what's going on in there. We sent people. They died. So no, that's a waste of a drone. And Des, do you really want me to talk about the second half of that? Can you destroy SCP-173? Yes, Researcher Perry, it is just concrete and rebar. It's very easy to destroy, but we at the Foundation don't destroy anomalies. We're not the Global Occult Coalition. So, no, we're not going to destroy it, even though it's quite easy to do so. Jonathan, thank you for, is this your first donation of today? I don't think it is. Come on, app. Yes, this is your first donation of today, so make sure to grab yourself some Oreos on your way past the commissary. Idea to contain Jim Biggio. Don't. This post is sponsored by the Serpent's Hand. Oh, geez, snakes, shut up. We contain anomalies, and we're going to try and contain that speedster one way or another. Okay, dear God. So, historically speaking, someone asked, and Desk is laying this up for me, what is so bad about the OG SCP-166? The original version of SCP-166 was super cringy and edgelord and overly sexualized. And the three things you would know about. There are four main things about 166, the original. Number one is that it's a minor. Number two, it's a Catholic nun. Number three, it is only subsist off male reproductive fluids. And making it a youngster who subsists on that is already like, okay, what is your... I'm not here to kink shame, but I'm kind of going to kink shame a little bit. And I'm trying to find the... I'm trying to find the original, but I don't have to right now. So yes, that's enough to know why, okay, why do we even have this on the site? You can't forget, SCP did start on 4chan, so there is a lot of that in the history of the site. And remember, everyone who thinks that the SCP Series 1 is way better than everything today, they forget how much bad stuff was deleted back in the day. Only the stuff that was decent survived. By the way, chat, we are 15 minutes from the end of stream. 15 minutes from the end of stream, just so you know. Dr. Sherman, is there an SCP that is a cognitive hazard that's just the ooification of words when you talk or write? There is not an SCP like that, but SCP-3312 does include that as a symptom of its situation, I believe, in some cases. Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, thank you for donating again. What about Transi de René de Chalon for SCP-173? It in public domain according to the internet. I don't... Desk, thank you for pulling that up. That is a pretty dope statue, I will admit. As far as 173s go, that would not be a terrible one. Although it is very in public. 049 was not wearing gloves when it touched my head, Dr. Sherman. I highly doubt that. We do not have a lot of anomalies that are immune to the death touch. So, you must be missing something. Dr. Sherman, please make me an SCP. Well, the living box, it already sounds like you are based on your title of a living box. Boxes are not normally alive. Now, question, can you be used to contain another anomalies? Because that could mean you're a thaumial SCP. SCP is under Creative Commons, correct. Yes, SCP is released via the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 3.0 license. Go to the SCP licensing guide and you can see the rules for using SCPs in your works. Chris the Dire Wolf Boy, thank you for donating again. Also, I have 999 with me, so it's still in containment. I did see something about someone saying 999 was being held hostage. I did think that was a little far-fetched. What are the blank SCP numbers called? Well, if you go into the SCP-8000 series on the wiki, you will see something called, you'll see a bunch of empty numbers and they all say access denied. That's what the database says when an SCP number has not been filled yet. Debber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a handful of almonds on your way past the commissary. Well, what happened if Waldo fights 096? Well, Waldo doesn't actually fight so much as just do its spawning thing and then done with it. However, 096 would probably survive being Waldo'd. I mean, it has that big-ass mouth in the first place. And secondly, if 096 became a vector for Waldo, then that means you could not even know where it is, let alone see its face. So that makes 096 even more deadly as a team-up with Waldo. I hate this idea. We're not testing that. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, how much would you pay me to find out how to resurrect the Here There Be Dragons box? I mean, I'd pay you your normal wage as a researcher, but also we're not working on that project right now, so you would not get paid for that. Dr. Sherman, do some info gathering on SCP-8495. Well, off the top of my head, I'm not familiar with that database entry, but I can check. Christmas lights. Interesting. What are we dealing with here? Current designation for a rampant phenomenon affecting Foundation personnel. SCP-8495 consists of two separate anomalies, henceforth designated 8495-1 events and 8495-2 manifestations. Although all current and former Foundation personnel have the potential to be the subject of an event, their likelihood of experiencing an event can increase when a number of factors are met. The subject has behaved morally and or ethically. Subject does not have close acquaintances or family. Subject has at least one positive memory, current and or former, regarding winter holidays. Suffered major traumatic events while employed by the Foundation, and subject has been employed by the Foundation for at least 5 years. Additional factors are currently being considered as possible causes. Event triggers on and around December 25th. They can occur as late as December 31st. During the event, the subject will sleep for approximately 8 to 10 hours and will feel fully refreshed upon awakening. Moreover, the subject will experience between 3 to 4 pleasant dreams, usually with undertones relating to winter and or winter holidays. Subject's sleep cannot be interrupted, nor will the subject react to stimuli that would result in them awakening. Attempts to view subject experiencing an 8495-1 event are typically unsuccessful. Viewers report an extreme sense of unease or discomfort. When they awaken, they will report that their room smells vaguely of rosemary, cinnamon, vanilla, or gingerbread. There will be a small amount of wrapped presents placed in clear view of the subject, designated as -2 instances. So people get a happy little Christmas, is that all? List is not considered comprehensive of the -2s. There's an interview with a Christine Klaus and a Nicholas Klaus. Who are these people? Even Dr. Clef got Christmas presents. I am shocked that Dr. Clef fully fulfilled the morality clause here in this situation. Okay, so it's Christmas presents. It's anomalous Christmas presents. Not too much going on there otherwise. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. It's been fun listening in today. Gotta go call and pester a friend by Dr. Sherman. See you later, Silent Follower. I gotta sign off in 7 minutes anyways, so we're down to the wire here, people. Last questions coming in. Idea for containing 173. Put it in an empty pool and put a heavy metal grate on top. Also add a high power sprinkler system with a few drains in the bottom. Have access to clean the drains below. I mean, that sounds a lot more complicated than what we already have going on. What we have going on works just fine, so I don't think we need to go overkill on this. Dr. Sherman, how would the Foundation contain anger rot, the character, over the span of several years? What is an anger rot? I don't know. I will look it up real quick. Why do you have to end at 7 minutes? Because I have a test coming up. And so I have to leave this stakeout and then pass that off to another researcher and then move on to my test for the evening. I got work to do. If I turned up hungover tomorrow, would I be in trouble? Yes, Jet. Do not show up to work hungover. That is obviously bad protocol. And thank you for donating again. Okay, Anger Rod is a villainous troll from the war between Gunmar and Arthur for control of surface lands. In 1297 AD, Angor sought power from the witch to protect its people from the war's devastation. In exchange for his soul, the witch granted him great magical power. Angor's Rot name is a pun on the Cambodian temple Angkor Wat. Okay. I know nothing about Tales of Arcadia, so this is all news to me. Cunning, intellect, enhanced strength, swordsmanship, strategy, various magical weapons and items. A troll. Troll hunters. I mean, it doesn't seem too difficult to lock a troll in a box. It doesn't seem to have any crazy powers based on this. Magical items or weapons aren't being very well specified though, so I'm not exactly sure. Mallow, thank you for donating again. Goodbye, doctor. Good luck with your test. Oh, thank you very much. I think we will have a good run this evening. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. SCP Redacted, codename What Da Dog Doin' is a dog who do weird shit, such as going all stretchy or no clip through shit. That doesn't sound surprising. David, Anger Rot would be Euclid at minimum because of it being alive. You can't have a safe class that is alive and sapient. But it may be Keter, depending on how powerful or clever the entity is. Shark Jumping Walrus, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. And since we are at the end of stream, it is time for me, as I always do, to tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, I'm not going to tell you my favorite SCPs are the ones I wrote. That would be cheating. But you can read the SCPs I wrote and or contributed to at the Sherm's author page and Site 42 Hub. You can check that out and see the SCPs I wrote. And while you're there, there's some support links. You can become a patron, where as low as $1, you get early access to all of our videos. You can become a channel member, where at tier 1, you get the custom emojis, the green name, and the badges. And at level 2 and up, you get the early access. I try to balance them out a little bit. So because Patreon gets no YouTube benefits, I gave them easier early access. I'm trying to be fair here. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. And could 096 navigate through non-Euclidean spaces as long as it had a target? Yes. Okay, so without further ado, my favorite SCPs was Charlie Chaplin and Anomaly. Krista Dyer Wolfboy, thank you for donating again, and not to my knowledge, but search the database and see what you find. Oh yes, and remember, if you do not have the money to donate directly to Site 42, do not worry. By liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing the YouTube things, you are already helping us out. And make sure that you join Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters, to help us signal boost any SCP games or films or other projects that are being supported by fellow SCP creators. By helping the community grow, we help ourselves and everyone do better stuff. So, with that, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5320, SCP-5175, and with a big content warning, SCP-8980. That one's rough. One more time through quicker, 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5320, 5175, and 8980 with a huge content warning. Krista Dyer Wolfboy, thank you for donating again. I just asked something. Did I not respond to that? I thought I did. Yeah, it was Charlie Chaplin and Anomaly. I don't know the answer to that, and I've got to go, so I can't look it up on my slow frickin' template. So that's one you want to go and check out. If you look up SCP Charlie Chaplin on Google, you will know very quickly whether he is or not. And so, I have told you my favorite SCPs, and so now we are on to the end of stream. I hope you guys have had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, I will see you guys in the next stream or video. As always, secure, contain, protect. I am the fountain of affection. I'm the instrument of joy. And to keep the good times rolling, I'm the boy, I'm the boy. You know the world could be our oyster if you just put your trust in me. 'Cause we'll keep the good times rolling. Wait and see, wait and see. Oh, wait and see. His exaltation, a sweet disintegration, a few discolorations, then it comes along. Up is why he chooses the kisses and the bruises. There ain't nothing he refuses. Then it comes along, it comes along. And I am lifted, I am lifted, I am lifted. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. When I'm up, I can't get down. Can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down. Get my feet back on the ground. See you in the next stream.